The rise, achievements and renewal of the Kenya National Union of Teachers, the KNUT. The Kenya National Union of Teachers KNUT is the oldest and historically the largest teachers union in Kenya. It was founded during the late colonial era to find racial discrimination and poor terms of service for African teachers. KNUT became a powerful voice for teacher welfare, professional standards, and national education policy. Over decades, it secured pensions, allowances, schemes of service, and important salary gains, often by mobilizing teachers and bargaining, and at times striking, as a unified force. In recent years, KNUT has faced steep membership erosion, internal governance concerns, and the resurgence competitor, the Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers, the KUPPET, which has successfully signed up many teachers who previously belonged to KNUT. The result is a strategic inflection point. KNUT must retool governance, member services, communications, and industrial strategy to regain trust and re-establish itself as the union of choice for Kenyan teachers. The formation, mandate, and a union born out of struggle. KNUT's origin is inseparable from Kenya's late colonial history. The formal education system in Kenya expanded through the first half of the 20th century. African teachers trained in Kagumo and Makerere faced cheaper pay, harsher conditions, and racial discrimination compared with the European counterparts. Attempts to organize, for example, the earlier Kenyan African Teachers Union, were suppressed by colonial authorities, but persistent grievances culminated in the successful founding of the National Teachers Union on 4th December 1957 at a conference in Pumwani, Nairobi. The KNUT website gives the union founding date as 4th December 1957 and sets out the reasons for its formation: to correct salary disparities, resist harassment and racial discrimination, secure pensions and medical benefits, and provide a united professional voice for teachers. From its inception, KNUT wore two hats: a trade union defending teachers' welfare and a professional organization promoting teaching standards and educational development. Its constitution and stated objectives emphasize: 1. Unity of teachers across grades. 2. Advocacy for better terms and conditions and legal protection. 3. Welfare programs. And 4. Contributions to the development of education policy and professional practice. That dual role, both industrial and professional, shaped KNUT's identity for decades. How KNUT became strong, the levers of influence. Several interlinked factors explain KNUT's historical strength. 1. Timing and legitimacy. KNUT was formed during a period of heightened political consciousness and anti-colonial mobilization. As the recognized representative of African teachers, it occupied the national space of praise for structural redress in the education sector. Its early legitimacy and the moral narrative of equality attracted broad-based teacher support. 2. Mass membership and dues base. For much of its history, KNUT was a natural home for primary school teachers and commanded a very large membership base. A large membership not only generates revenue for union operations, but also gives leverage in negotiations with the employer and credibility in national debates. 3. Industrial action and negotiation records. KNUT proved to be willing and able to use strikes and industrial pressure to force negotiations and to secure outcomes. Major strikes in the 1960s, repeatedly thereafter, notably 1997, 2002, 2009, and 2015 disputes, helped to push employers and government to the bargaining table, sometimes yielding significant pay awards or reforms. The courtroom battles and subsequent negotiated CBAs also strengthened the KNUT's bargaining profile. 4. Institutional wins and welfare delivery. Securing a single employer for teachers, the Teachers Service Commission, that is TSC, and concrete benefits, pensions, scheme allowances, maternity leave, motor vehicle purchase schemes, converted unions' victories into tangible welfare gains, reinforcing members' faith in KNUT's effectiveness. Reference documents list these achievements clearly. And number 5, presence across counties and embedded local leadership. KNUT developed an extensive branch network. Local leaders mediated disputes, enrolled members, and ran welfare schemes, making the union visible at the school and community level. The combination of moral legitimacy, organizational reach, and track record of industrial wins and also concrete welfare benefits explains why KNUT was for many decades perceived as strong and central to teachers' lives. Key achievements. KNUT lists of achievements reads like a modern social contract for teachers. The union's own catalog itemizes multiple policies and welfare wins that materially improved the fortunes of Kenyan teachers. Highlighted includes the following: creation of a single employer, TAC. KNUT's early campaign pushed for an employer structure that could negotiate consistently on teachers' behalf. The Teachers Service Commission emerged as the statutory employer for teachers, enabling clearer negotiation processes. Pension arrangement. KNUT secured a free pension scheme for teachers, a core part of a long-term security for career teachers. Allowances and paid leaves. Automatic house allowance, medical allowance, paid maternity leave for 60 working days, commuter allowance, hardship and disturbance allowance, responsibility allowances, and accommodation night allowances are among the benefits that KNUT lists as victories. These allowances close income gaps and recognize the real costs teachers can carry. Also, schemes of service and career progression frameworks. KNUT contributed to schemes of service that laid out career paths for non-graduate and graduate teachers as well as technical teachers, vital for professional and predictability in promotions and pay. Then collective bargaining outcomes, that is the CBA. KNUT negotiated CBA with the TSC, which translated into structured salary increment over multi-year cycles. The legal and negotiated history includes staggered implementation of awards and court interventions to enforce agreed increase, a clear sign that KNUT's industry strategy produced measurable salary gains for members. The 2013-2017 and later CBAs are examples of these processes. Then mobilization for national reforms. In several moments, KNUT mobilization had national salience. Strikes and industrial pressures forced government, committees and commissions to revisit teachers' pay and terms, and to align teachers' pay more closely with the civil servant in certain periods. The 2009 harmonization process is one such example. Together, these achievements framed KNUT as a defender of teachers' socioeconomic rights and a partner in the professionalization of teaching. Contemporary challenges: erosion of strength and credibility. Despite a storied past, KNUT has confronted systematic and situational challenge in the 21st century. These have weakened membership, loyalty, operational capacity, and negotiating leverage. Key challenges include: 1. Membership erosion and the KNUT challenge. Since the 2010s, KNUT membership base has fluctuated drastically. Reports and TSC data indicate that KNUT membership dropped from well over 180,000 members to a fraction of that number in a shorter period. That is, the data show dramatic declines between 2019 and 2021 in particular, leading to a near paralysis of some union operation. One media analysis cited a drop from 187,000 to around 34,000 between July 2019 and October 2020, with further declines following. KNUT has mounted recruitment drives to correct this. Compounding the membership crisis is the growth of KUPPET, Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers, originally formed to represent post-primary, that is secondary and tertiary teachers, and which has in recent years successfully attracted a larger number of members, including in segments historically dominated by KNUT. Legal and new sources indicate KUPPET was established and its later recognition by TSC. Court documents identify KUPPET's founding year in 1998. Some community narratives mention earlier dates, but the official court chronology states of 1998. Therefore, KUPPET has run aggressive recruitment campaigns and, according to media reports, registered significant gains in secondary and some junior school teacher membership in the 2020s, a strategic blow to KNUT's membership strategy. Then internal governance questions and financial transparency. Larger unions that decline to modernize governance structure often face perception problems. Allegations of weak internal controls, lack of transparency on financial reporting, nepotism, or opaque decision-making can corrode some trust. Where members perceive that leaders are not accountable or that dues are not visibly converted into member services, exit becomes attractive. Media narratives and membership churn suggest KNUT has not always demonstrated a robust member-facing financial transparency in recent years. Therefore, KNUT itself has published scorecards and internal reports in attempts to demonstrate accountability. Then we have service delivery mismatch, what members now expect. Teachers' expectations have evolved. Today, members expect digital services, online due payments, automated benefit tracking, professional development opportunities, legal assistance, and clear lobbying for pay and work conditions. If a union continues to offer mostly traditional services, periodic strikes, occasional legal support, and fails to innovate in member services, younger and mobile teachers are likely to defect to alternatives promising more immediate and visible value. Then political polarization and the cost of strike. Strikes remain a potent tool, but over-reliance on strike without effective membership communication, credible legal strategy, and public sympathy can backfire. Protracted industrial action risks public backlash. Legal challenges. The courts have ruled on the legality of strikes and the process of calling them, and fatigue among teachers who suffered lost pay. The 2015-2016 litigation and other disputes exemplifies how court processes can shape outcomes and public perceptions. Then legal and institutional constraints. The post-2010 Constitution and new statutory arrangements, for example, the role of the Salaries and Remuneration Commission, SRC, and the reformed Teachers Service Commission, changed the terrain for public sector negotiation. Unions must now work within the institutional architecture that includes more actors and formal review mechanisms, complicating direct pressure tactics and requiring higher legal and technical capacity in negotiations. Why KNUT matters? That is competition, segmentation, and market dynamics. The entry and rise of KNUT changed the teachers' union landscape in three ways. One, market segmentation. KNUT initially focused on post-primary educators. That niche positioning gave it a concentrated constituency and clear value proposition. Over time, aggressive recruitment and legal recognition allowed KNUT to expand influence into areas that overlap with the KNUT's traditional membership base. The court chronology and media reporting confirm KNUT's growth and recognition timeline. 2. Member mobility. Teachers today have easier ways to switch union affiliation. Administrative mechanisms, peer influence, and targeted recruitment drives, where KNUT promises better representation and services, members have migrated, a dynamic demonstrated in media reports of tens of thousands switching allegiance in the 2020s. Then we have competitive legitimacy and bargaining leverage. When unions fragment, the government and employer can exploit division to delay or reduce concession. A fragmented teacher movement has less obvious single-point negotiating power. 2. Competing unions dilute the bargaining front, and employers can opt to engage with a union that appears more cooperative or less disruptive. This strategic reality amplifies the cost of membership erosion for KNUT. Given these dynamics, KNUT's strategic response must recognize market realities and the incentives that drive teachers' choices. Then we have how KNUT can regain trust. That is a comprehensive practical roadmap. Rebuilding KNUT's relevance requires both quick wins to stop the bleeding and deep structural reforms to create sustainable trust. Below is an actionable blueprint organized into priority areas with concrete measures and rationale. 1. Governance and transparency reform, non-negotiable. foundation, where it should publish audited financials annually and quarterly summarize, make audits independent, accessible on the union's website and presented in the county's branch meetings. Financial transparency is the single most credible signal leaders can give that dues are responsibly managed. KNUT has published scorecards, expand this into comprehensive external audits. Then adopt modern governance charters and whistleblower protections. A clear code of conduct, conflict of interest declarations, and protected channels for reporting misuse of funds will guard against governance capture. Then introduce member-elected oversight committees. These committees, audits and welfare, should have defined powers to review expenditures on welfare schemes, branch disbursements, and benefit administration. Why this matters is that trust erodes fastest when members cannot see how money is used. Transparent, open, member-driven oversight rebuilds confidence and reduces narratives of mismanagement. Then member service modernization, how to show immediate value, that is by 1, digital member portal and mobile payments. Implement a secure portal where members can check membership status, pay dues, claim benefits, register grievances, book legal aid, and access CBAs and policy briefs. Mobile money linkage for dues will remove friction in collection and boost remittance timelines. Then legal and professional support package, create tiered services, repaid legal advice for employment disputes, subsidized legal representation for major litigation, and pro bono clinics in county branches. Then continuous professional development, partner with the teacher training colleges and online providers to offer accredited CBD courses, that is classroom practice, ICT in teaching, special needs education, offer discount to members. Then micro insurance and welfare cooperatives, where we need to consolidate welfare schemes that genuinely reduce teachers' costs, medical top-ups, funeral benefits, emergency loans, be transparent about scheme actual assumptions and co-governance. Why this matters is that members expect a day-to-day benefits. If KNUT can be the organization that tangibly helps teachers to resolve everyday problems, legal issues, that is, retention may rise. Strengthen the branch level engagement and accountability. By 1, branch capacity program. Invest in training branch officials on bookkeeping, member communication, dispute resolution, and campaigning. Branches should be resourced to run monthly clinic days on legal, financial literacy, and other related briefings. Then performance-linked branch grants. Release small conditional grants to branches that meet reporting and membership retention targets. These incentives local accountability without central micromanagement. Then regular membership feedback loops, annual member satisfaction surveys, anonymized, and quarterly town halls, where national leaders present progress and answers to questions. The union's life is lived at the branch and school level. Honest local leadership converts national promises into perceived reality. To recalibrate Industrial strategy, that is smarter bargaining and better communication. Professional negotiation teams, build a permanent negotiation secretariat with lawyers, economists, and policy analysts, not ad hoc negotiators. Prepare evidence-based demands with clear physical costing, benchmarked against civil service and peer countries. Then strike at last resort. Use phased escalation. Establish a clear grievance and conciliation pathway with the timelines. Use targeted industrial action and, when necessary, and ensure pre-strike legal compliance to avoid injunctions and reputation damage. Courts and legislation after 2010 require a careful procedural steps. Then public communications and narrative management. Preposition public information on why action is necessary, the cost of inaction, and the expected outcome. Secure alliances with parent groups and sympathetic civil society to maintain the public trust during the disputes. Industrial action must be credible, legal, and socially legitimate. A professionalized approach reduces litigation risks and increases the chances of enforceable wins. Then we have competitive but collaborative relationship with the KNUT. A member needs and avoid binary turf wars. Recognize that teachers choose unions based on specific services. KNUT should perform research to understand precisely why teachers defect and then respond with tailored value propositions rather than purely rhetorical attacks on KNUT. Then inter-union protocols for member transfers and joint actions. Negotiate clear protocols with KNUT over the recognition, joint bargaining for common issues, that is salary structure affecting all teachers, and dispute resolutions to avoid harmful attention-grabbing court battles that waste member dues. Then strategic alliances, where interests align. For example, national salary review, teachers' welfare bills. Form pragmatic alliances to present a unified front, but retain differentiated services offering to appeal to each segment. Why this matters is that competition is a market signal, not an existential curse. KNUT can use competition to sharpen services and create coalitions where unity yields better policy outcomes. Renewed investment in professional identity and ethics. Champion teacher professionalism, that is one. Launch campaigns that emphasizes code of conduct, classroom excellency, and continuing professional development. Recognize outstanding teachers through transparent awards and fellowships. Teacher voice in policy. Create a policy research units that produce position papers, evidence, briefs, and classroom-centered policy alternatives. Offer this to Parliament, Teacher Service Commission, and the Ministry of Education to elevate the union from a single-purpose industrial actor to a policy partner. Why this matters is that teachers want dignity and professional recognition, not merely wage fights. Re-establishing the professional dimension will broaden the KNUT's appeal. Central, that is member-centric communication and brand renewal. Rebrand with substance, that is pair a refreshed communication strategy modern logo, social media, regular newsletters, with the substance described above. Avoid cosmetic changes without governance and service reforms. 2. Transparent reporting on a dashboard. Publish a public dashboard with membership numbers, dues collected, major welfare disbursement, and progress on CBS. A live dashboard demonstrates accountability. Then youth and new teacher outreach. Run induction programs for newly posted teachers explaining unions' benefits, right at work, and how to access services. Younger teachers often join alternative unions simply because they never received a compelling outreach from KNUT. Why this matters is that reputation is built daily. Consistent, honest communication rebuilds credibility. The legal preparedness and strategic litigation. A legal fund with clear grievance. Maintain a dedicated legal fund to defend members' rights and to support strategic litigation that clarifies labor rights in education. Then pre-litigation dispute resolution. Exhaust internal and statutory conciliation avenues before national strikes to avoid injunctions and protracted legal battles that caused dues and tarnish reputation. The post-2010 legal landscape has specific requirements for lawful industrial action. Adherence is very essential. Why that matters is that courts have been decisive actors in teachers' disputes. A technically prepared union has better odds of protecting members and securing enforceable awards. Then we have sequencing and estimated milestones, that is practical roadmap. KNUT must act on multiple fronts simultaneously, but with a clear sequencing to achieve momentum. 1. Between first 3 to 6 months, stop the bleeding, that is quick wins. Publish a transparent interim financial report and pledge an external audit. Launch a simplified mobile dues and member portal. Announce branch capacity program and schedule county induction clinics. Start media campaigns explaining immediate member benefits. 6 to 18 months, that is institutional strengthening. Complete external audit accounts and publish to members. Operationalize CPD partnerships and legal support hotline. Formalize negotiation secretariat and deliver a comprehensive CBS strategy. Then from 18 to 36 months, sustained renewal. Demonstrate membership growth. Targets met, measured quarterly. Show measurable impact from welfare schemes like number of legal cases resolved, CPD certificates issued, enter selective joint actions with COPET where mutually beneficial. Then risk management, what could go wrong and how to hedge. Risk 1 is reform are perceived as cosmetics. Mitigation is tie reforms to independent audits, third-party endorsement, and clear time-bound deliverables. Risk number 2 is internal resistance from entrenched leadership. Use the democratic conventions, member votes, and oversight committees to dispute power and ensure buy-in. Then risk 3 is government pushback and legal constraints. Maintain an experienced legal team and comply scrupulously with the statutory processes for strike action and negotiations. Risk number 4 is COPET and other unions poach more members during the transition. Prioritize rapid delivery of member-facing challenges or changes through the legal hotline, dues portal, CPD, to create switching costs and immediate tangible value. Then measuring success. That is 1, membership retention and growth rates. 2, dues collection compliance. 3, number of welfare, insurance claims processed and average turnaround time. Member satisfaction index. Number of CBD courses delivered and certificates issued. Number of outcomes on legal cases supported. Financial audit outcomes and percentage of branch compliant with the reporting standards. These KPIs create an evidence base to show member that the union is delivering. And lastly, we need to look at why KNUT can return to strength. Despite recent setbacks, the structural advantage that once made KNUT powerful remains salvageable. Historical legitimacy and name recognition. KNUT's long history and brand still resonate with many teachers and stakeholders. Scale potential. Kenya still needs a strong union that can represent primary teachers and post-primary teachers across counties with better services and governance. And therefore, KNUT can rebuild scale faster than a competitor that lacks equivalent deep historical networks. Then policy relevance. Education policy is technically complex. A union that invests in evidence-backed policy inputs will regain influence in national debates and be seen as a partner, not merely an adversary. Then member desire for value. Teachers will join or rejoin the organization that helps them professionally and financially. Delivering clear, rapid member benefits is the fastest route to reversing the decline. And therefore, KNUT's pathway back to strength is not a single dramatic maneuver, but a multi-pronged program of governance reform, service modernization, branch empowering, and smarter industrial strategy. KNUT sits at an inflection point. The union's proud history, born in the struggle against colonial injustice, provides both moral authority and a set of expectations. Today, members want unions that are accountable, digitally competent, professionally oriented, and effective negotiators. The competition from KUPPET and internal challenges are a wake-up call, not a fatality. A credible, transparent, member-centric renewal program rooted in auditable finance, strong branch capacity, modern member services, and professional bargaining will restore KNUT's standing. The union must choose between nostalgia for past glory and the disciplined work of rebuilding trust. The authors of Kenya's education future, teachers, deserve a strong, accountable union that fights for them and empowers them in the classroom. KNUT can be that union. Gain it if it embraces reform with urgent and humility. We are about to go to the KNUT elections this year. We are urging that members of KNUT should elect leaders who are equal to the task and must, if elected, you must work around the clock to ensure that you revive the union. Thank you.